taking your time off, your busy schedules. This is very important for you. I know this is a very important time of the month, a very important time of the year, especially for Microsoft and for all of us who pushes Microsoft at this point. We are about to enlighten you closer to the end about a special training tool where you can get resources to help you close deals, because I know this is the month of the real deals. As we start, please note this presentation will be recorded. I hand you over to Nisha Archibald, our Microsoft consumer sales rep.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know how many different titles Adita wants to give me here, but I call myself your friendly neighborhood Microsoft rep. So we're going to go through this basically because we've been through very trying times and we want to help you live the new normal by providing the right tools to your customers. Right. So I'm really thankful that you're here today. The conversation should go a little two ways at some point because we've had these webinars where I speak a lot, I don't hear from you, and I hope that it sinks in somewhere. But just for the part of the presentation, I'm just going to ask you to mute your mic so we won't have any background noise. We're all working from home. Some of us are still working from home. We have, if you're like me, you have children and dogs to interrupt. So we want to introduce to you now the Microsoft 365. I know you're probably thinking, wasn't that around before? But I'll explain what we did as we move along. So you would have been familiar with Office 365. Microsoft looked at it and we saw if we calculated where we are with our Office 365 without making any improvements to the value, we would have been probably landing 55 million subscribers by the year 2023. What we did was revise the product offering, add more value to our consumers, so that we'll be on a new growth trajectory that will take us to over 75 million subscribers by the year 2023. What this means for you is a whole lot of opportunity to make money. More importantly, to add value. Here are the areas where we saw that there was opportunity to add value. Many of you sell devices. Most of the time someone buys a device, the primary use for that device is for productivity and management, right? Your productivity suite with Office 365 has the highest satisfaction. And it's actually, if you think about it, if you purchase a device without Office, you don't have that degree of satisfaction. You have an increased satisfaction having attached Office to your device. Think about it clearly. What are you using this PC for? I'll tell you some little secrets too. 28% of parents have concerns about their children's health being impacted by motor vehicles. But you know what? 30% of parents are more concerned about their children's health being impacted by internet safety. And as a mother of three, I can tell you, this is where our concern is. And Microsoft actually took that into consideration as we added value. Here's what we want you to focus. We want you to sell value. So we've done this before, right? We've talked about this. For 2 years, you've been hearing me yap about what it does and what it says and etc. Today, we want you to be focused on what you are selling. You are not just selling Office. You're not just selling the productivity apps. You're helping people to bring their ideas to life, to organize their time. If you sat in your homes, just as I have, and Adita, Melissa, and Maria, you've known that you have to actually plan your meetings so that you have time for your children to be able to cook meals, or you're scrambling all the time. Or you're also not meeting your customer needs because you've been overbooking yourself or running yourself thin. This is what it does. You're selling the value of being able to organize your time, not just as at a corporate level or small business level, but even at an individual level so that you can accomplish more. And you know what? We're always concerned about all of these things and then security, right? So you say, oh my gosh, what about if this is somewhere, if somebody gets access to this? We want to still be able to protect what is important. That's a value. People are concerned about security. We're hearing all over the globe about cyber attacks. Even some of the apps that are part of Microsoft's competitors. I don't want to say Microsoft's competitors because let's be real, can you really compete with this level of value? You heard over the news as we went into COVID-19 and consumers were looking for an app that would help them to do video conferencing and connecting. There was a whole host of cyber attacks. And that's what we're selling here. We're selling the value. You don't have to worry about that. You know what I always say? There's no price tag for peace of mind. There is actually. And we go through that in the next couple slides. So the first part is we want to obviously talk about the core productivity apps, which you are familiar with. I don't need to go through that. The biggest selling point for you would be, can we go back a little bit? The biggest selling point for us as the resellers, the people who want to be the leaders in the space of technology, would be that 1 terabyte of storage. We've gone through, I mean, just before the call started, we started to talk about how much COVID-19 changed who we are, how we look at things, the perspective that we have on life. We want to be able to keep secure some of our treasured stuff, our documents, our pictures, etc., whatever it is that seems to be dear to us. OneDrive allows us to do that. And on top of that, now we have new mobile apps for families, which we'll see later. It's coming probably, it was supposed to come in spring and summer Microsoft world, but it's going to come now later in October maybe, which is Safety and Teams, which we have in preview at this time. This is what you know. That's the price tag that you know. You know the Office 365 apps. Let's move along, right? And this is when I talk about the price tag for peace of mind. This is what you're familiar with. We haven't changed the value in terms, so the prices are the same. We haven't changed the value that you were getting. What we've done is we've added value. So we go to now Microsoft 365 lineup. If you look at the prices are the same. That's what you're going to be paying MC3 for it. But the value for each individual product has changed. We've not that we've changed it to reduce the value, but to increase the value, to give you greater value for the same price. And the value is what you're going to be selling to your customers. And I plead with you, have the conversations with them. Let them understand which one of these products here best suits their needs so that they can come to you, rely on you to be their expert source of information. And not just for Office, but for all of their technology needs.
Team, I just wanted to interject here. This is not our reseller price to you. Of course, this is the MSRP price. So you would see our price to you would make a big difference, and you will be able to put up a good margins on these pricing to be able to be very competitive.
You are very right. Actually, these are the prices that Microsoft sells on the online store, which is usually way above what you can sell at retail. Correct. Right. So we think every time we think about Microsoft 365, we think about Office, we think about it being for business, right? SMBs, we think about it being for corporate. Why do I as an individual need it? And when your customers walk in the door, they don't know that they need it. Is it funny? We need to now help them understand what their needs are, just because we want them to get the best out of it. So we were wondering if we would have a back to school period, right? Which is usually a peak period for you guys as resellers to sell to students, and people going to universities want to get their PCs, etc. In Trinidad, we thought we weren't going to have that because we had some restructuring, but the Ministry of Education has allowed us to understand their policies, and we are going to have a first term in September. Universities are reopening in September. And I know some of the other islands are also following the same sort of pattern. And we sit back and we say, hey, so why do we need Microsoft 365 for consumers? What are they going to do, right? Well, here's why. Because students need to have their Office, right? They need to have their productivity apps. You know what? They also need that terabyte of storage, right? Even at the level of a university student, a secondary school student. This is not the times when you and I went to school. And I'd just like to inject, I'm only 23 years old. This is the times when these children, they use technology for everything, to prepare to do their research even more so than we did, to do their assignments. My 12-year-old has her own laptop and her own Microsoft 365, right? Most of it, she's storing her home videos, but this is the opportunity to help consumers get more value, things that make them smile. Somebody called me this morning and say, what gives you joy? And we want to help them see that. That's what we're living for. That's what COVID taught us, that we need to enjoy everything that we do. Speak with your customers, find out why they're buying this PC, find out what they're in your store for. They're here for a camera, they're here for a printer. How can you help them add value with Microsoft 365? And this is at the individual level, but we also have it for families, right? Most of our vulnerable are the elderly. And we think of elderly like, in my day, we used to think of elderly like 40, right? Now we push it a little bit further. So you're like 60, 75, you're now old. But a lot of these are vulnerable. They're vulnerable because their health is not what it used to be. And they want to keep in touch with their grandchildren, their family, not just to have a phone call. They want to be able to do that sort of video conferencing, video calls with good quality where they could share pictures and files and engage better. Each member of the household can have that value with Microsoft 365 Family. It's for 6 users, which you already know. That has not changed from Office 365. All we now helping our customers understand is what does this mean to you, right? So if you're at work, or if you don't live with your parents because they're elderly, but you want the grandkids to stay in touch and you want to be able to share videos and pictures that they can look at their own time, you have a whole terabyte of storage each that you can share on. And of course, if you have multiple children going to universities and in secondary schools, particularly even primary schools now have their own laptops and using or doing assignments galore, projects that have like 15 pages. Yes, you can use the same SKU for your family. Let's help. Let us together in this time think beyond making money and think about how we can help our customers in these difficult times as we now try to rebuild our economies, to be productive, one, to engage better with each other, but also to enjoy life. I think that's what COVID taught us the most, that we need to really enjoy life. Of course, these are all 365. Once you see 365, it is a subscription base. It's a user-based licensing. Which of course 365 means every 365 days a year you would have to pay the subscription. Most times people say, oh gosh, I'm not able to have to pay this, another thing to pay next year. What if I forget? You won't forget. Firstly, because you're going to tell your customers that they will get a reminder from Microsoft. However, if you can keep a database of the sales that you have had in this year, I'm afraid we don't have a tool to do that for you now. But if you can keep that database, you can help them with the reminders next year. And it works up to sometimes 11 cents a day if they calculate it and break it down per day to have this kind of value. And let's be real, we spend a lot more on water than we do for these kind of licenses. Now, we will find people that say, okay, here's what, right? I just need to type up documents and my PC is fine. And you know what? They want a perpetual license. Let's give them the solution once again that meets their needs where they are. And that is what Office Home and Student 2019 does. Please pay close attention that all of the Office 365 products have been rebranded to Microsoft 365, but the Office perpetual license is still Office Home and Student and Home and Business. And as you've known before, we've done it. We've said this to you before. This is no news. You've heard me say it. Office Home and Student is a perpetual license that is only sorry, I got a little distracted there with the new attendee. The requirement or the prerequisite for Home and Student to be installed, you must have a Windows 10 operating system. And I'm sure you're also, let me just inject here, I'm sure you're also advising your customers that yes, Windows 7 was great back in the day, but it's been 10 years and it is not as secure. And we want people to remember security is a good priority, a top priority for us, for you, for me, and for the consumer. And we do recommend Windows 10. There's been a whole host of innovation over the last 10 years to ensure that there is optimal security at this time. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. This is things that you've seen before. I've always stuck this slide in so that you know that the value here is the technical support, which you know. It is the classic apps that you get across all, and it's also that it gives you that terabyte of storage with 365 versus the perpetual license. And it's important to note that with the 365, you can install it on more than one device, right? When I say device, you have a smartphone, you have a tablet, and I've done that pitch too, right? Because you know I break the rules a little bit. I use my phone sometimes in the car, my tablet while I'm on my bed when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and now I'm using my laptop because I'm in the office, right? And of course, this is our biggest selling point. I don't even need to say that. You know that while the individuals are amazing, that we want to be able to sell consumers on a consumer level, we know commercial is a space that needs this more so than any other entity, right? Commercial needs it so that they can be productive. It is also an opportunity for you to sell a combination of products and support. So we want you to be now, each one of you in your own spaces, become an expert. That's it. That's the desire here, to become an expert for your customers so that they know that when they have any need to have their business optimized, to be more productive, to be more efficient, they turn to you. There's also an alternative, right? They can turn to Pirate. So let's position ourselves well. So here's the solution for small business. The first thing I need for you to do, I'm asking you to do, is understand your customer. Understand that your customer is a small business. Understand that if he is a carpenter, a joiner, whatever you call it, or if he is a tileman or a hairdresser, a lawyer, an accountant, all these are all professionals. They are small business that run between 1 to 24 employees. Most times it's a lot smaller. It's 1 to 10. Sometimes it's 1 to 2. Right? These small businesses do not have a dedicated technical team. Hence your role in the decision making. They come to you as an expert. You are probably talking to the business owner because that business owner is coming into your store, into your business to purchase a PC, to purchase a printer, to purchase some device that's going to help them to move along their technical needs. You have 3 options. Like I said, in conversation with these business people, you will determine what solution suits them. Because we now have what you would have known before was Office 365 Business Premium, which is now Microsoft 365 Business Standard. Again, it's greater value for the same price. And then we have the 2 perpetual SKUs, which is Office Home and Business and Office Professional. As usual, I'm not going to stay too much time on the perpetual license. It's very straightforward. You get all of the productivity apps.
And we have running promos on the perpetual licenses up until June 30th. Just be a reminder in case that you have customers who need them.
And that's a good point, Edita. Thanks so much for that, because we do have, I know MC3 is running a special for Office Home and Business that does end on June 30th. And then we think to ourselves, but then do we need perpetual license? Yes, you do, because there are some people who literally just do the documents and print out, your receptionists, your customer service reps, etc. And you don't want to have an ongoing cost. You don't want the customers to have an ongoing cost for staff that would need to have all of the features of business standard. So we do have, some of you also support government agencies, and I'm not just talking about government ministries, I'm talking about all these little agencies that support the government, some nonprofit organizations. This is an opportunity to sell them an SKU that works best for them, that is not going to give them another bill to pay, right? We need to, again, like I said, meet the customer where they are. I think the promo that MC3 have is excellent because it's the time now when people are trying to put things in order so that they can be more productive, even if they have to work from home. So let's move along to talk about basically what you're going to get with the perpetual SKUs. As you know, you get the Office apps. Let me just be clear, right? Because you can install this on your tablet or your PC, but the access and the publisher works only on the PC. And it's very critical that you tell your customers these little, it means little to us as we're selling, moving along, the stores are busy. But when they're not satisfied, they, the level of dissatisfaction causes even more problems because they're not going to turn to you as the expert source. So take note of these quick little things to let them know that if they're installing it, they need to install it on a PC so that they get all of these apps. But like Adita and Melissa, myself, we are all moms working remotely, trying to get stuff done with babies and children and whatnot. And we have these solutions for the small businesses that do basically the same thing. And that is the Microsoft 365 Business Standard. That is the product that is like a hero product for us now during COVID, when we had to actually connect with our suppliers and connect with other businesses, our customers remotely. And here's the value that you're selling. You're selling to them that be connected. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're working from home or if you're parked outside of your child's school. As long as you have an internet connection, a data plan, you can be connected to your business. You get more value out of it, right? You're able to protect your customers and your company because of the increased security. You're able to make your business more productive just about anywhere. And you know what? Because these people are not very technical, they can get help 24/7. And I just want to put a pin in here because people have called me, hey, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know. I'll tell you, I'm so far from technical, right? I have problems with the space bar and my computer starts to stick. So, but there is a portal inside of admin. So when you install the business standard, Microsoft 365 Business Standard, there's a portal there. And there's a link that says get help. You type in there, you having a problem, whatever the problem is, let me tell you, within minutes, a Microsoft technician calls you, right? And they follow up with you. I had an issue recently that actually wasn't an issue that needed tech support, but I didn't know at the time. And they called, and not only did they called the day after to follow up to make sure I got it resolved, right? So let them know that they have 24/7 support. It doesn't matter if it's happening 3 o'clock in the morning, because a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we work 3 o'clock in the morning because that's when we have quiet time. We put the kids to bed. We just want to get some stuff done, right? Sell the value to them. I am not even going to go through this. I put this here because I know you know it. I know you know what's included. I know you know about the apps. I know that you know it's for one person, right? I know that you know that we're going to give you exclusive upgrades every month, right? There's always new features to be added. Some of the new features we're going to talk about here later in this presentation. But what I want to talk to you about is why it is you should choose to recommend business standard to your customers as opposed to Microsoft 365 Home. Because some of us are thinking, but what's Nisha saying? Because if they buy Microsoft 365 Family, isn't it 6 users? Yes, it is. But the difference is that they're not going to benefit from the premium business solutions that help them to be more productive. So it's not just about selling a product because, okay, they will have a terabyte of storage, right? We want them to have these solutions going to help them grow their business, take them from a small business and a sole trader into a corporate entity that is bidding for government deals and doing business across the globe. They can only do that if they have the right tools. With Exchange, they have shared calendars, they have more secured email, it's actually it's all built on the platform of SharePoint. So it allows them as they grow to easily move into cloud solutions and migrate into cloud solutions as they move forward into business, right? And we want to help them with that part, that transition as they grow, because if they start with a product like a consumer SKU, Microsoft 365 Family, what we're going to find is that they are going to have to manually do everything. It's going to be a frustrating and a tedious process. And it may actually have a lot of room for human error. And I don't think we can afford human error when we're in business. So to summarize the true value of Microsoft 365 Business Standard, if you heard me present like Andre did before, this is always an SKU that I'm very passionate about because I'm also an entrepreneur and I know the value that it has, that it offers to me. And I know the value is going to offer to have somebody as simple as a joiner or I keep saying the tile man, but somebody said I shouldn't say the tile man, but the guy that does the tiling, or some who's running a small business is providing that he can actually um, use this to grow his business. I'm saying this because I actually have a carpenter who does desks and cupboards and all woodwork that is using this now, right? And his business is so efficient. I actually spoke to him this morning. I said, you know what I like about you? That you're always on time. You're always delivering excellent customer service. So as strange as it sounds, this is what is going to help impress their customers so that they come back for more business, right? You know the productivity apps you're going to get. You're going to get Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote, Publisher, and Access. And you know that they need all of these apps for all the various things that they do, for presentations, for documents, for accounting, for note taking, for getting creative with graphics, and for keeping their own database, right? We've spoken in like a lot over the last 2 years about OneDrive, right? Because we've known of people of small businesses that kept everything on premise on their laptop, and then their laptop crashed. The hard drive it cannot be restored. They can't get the data out of it. They've lost everything. They've had to start from scratch. You know what it is like to start your whole business all over again? Yeah, you've had the experience, but everything is gone, right? And that is the value that we've offered with OneDrive and having email and calendaring, right? I told someone the other day I operate by my calendar, so if you if you ask me for 11 to 12, that's all I can give you because I have somebody else at 12, but it also allows me to be productive within the hour that I have, right? But in times like this, when coronavirus has taught us so much, right? I'm not going to curse coronavirus because it allowed me to appreciate life. It allowed me to appreciate that we have to use all of the tools available to us to collaborate with each other, to be productive, to securely share files, right? And you can share files through Teams, through Exchange, SharePoint. It is all built on a platform of SharePoint. You have the business apps such as Bookings that help you to manage your appointments so that you're never running late. You're giving your customers the best of you, right? And all of the additional benefits, which I want to pass over, but I can't because you still get that 1 year of free domain from Microsoft with this product. You get increased security and that 24-hour support, which for me as a small business is so critical because you're talking to somebody who is so far from technical. Their skill set is to do accounting, or they're very versed in the law because they're a lawyer, or they're an excellent at marketing, but they just completely dumb when it comes to technology. And you want to have them have all the tools so they just seem like they're super smart. And that's the new normal, actually. So to tie back into the whole purpose of this webinar is just helping people to adjust and to be more productive in the new normal. It's critical that I mention the security because a lot of the times we've seen people being concerned about, what if Microsoft uses my data for whatever? Your data is yours. This is not for advertising. You can even manage how your employees use your services because with the 365, you're the admin. You can go in, set all of your rules, whether they can forward emails, whether they can share content, whether they can even share links from their OneDrive for somebody else to see you. If you will have to authorize that. You have all of the compliance features for regulated business. Listen, security was a top priority for Microsoft for the last forever, actually. We may have learned more as time progressed because, as we learn more, so do hackers, right? We're all creative in the same space, but we are one step ahead of them. And I know you're thinking, is there more? Is Nisha going to really share more today? Yes, we have more. We have more reasons for you to recommend Microsoft 365 because over the time of lockdown, 3 months in my house, only to go to the supermarket 3 times, I got so many ads from using online services like YouTube, etc. So many times these ads came up with, hey, do you want to use this product to ensure that you have an editor, basically, an editing software. The subscription is incredible because you're going to pay for this subscription to help you ensure that you don't have spelling and grammar errors, to reword or paraphrase what you would have said, to be more effective. And guess what? Microsoft said, you know what? Let's just throw that in there, right? Bring the best writer out of out of you. Whatever you write, let's just bring the best out of you. You get to write like, you get to craft the most impressive emails. You can post it on your favorite sites like LinkedIn, Gmail, Facebook, right? Microsoft Editor checks your writing and suggests edits so that you're always communicating the most effectively just about everywhere you go. It's available also in Outlook.com. Just express yourself, and it's available in 20 languages. I think in the Caribbean we have English, French, and Dutch, but you're lucky, it's all there. So now we're professional at everything. We have the IT support from our resellers who are on this call. And as a consumer now, we get to craft the best emails, the best proposals, best pitches. And it's all just because of one product. And you know what else is interesting? We also want to be the best artists, right? We want to have the most creative content. And that's also included for you, because you get over 300 premium templates, and we have a lot more on the way, right? We have 8,000 top quality images. And all of your presentations, we even have like looping videos. You can improve your style and font and icons, you name it, just get creative. And throughout this time, if you sat down like me and you looked and said, wow, these small businesses got so creative, whether they were printing t-shirts to sell or mugs or key rings or whatever it is, they had to put content onto their Facebook pages, onto their social media platforms, and they needed to get creative with it, and they did. And here you have a solution for them. Here you can tell them this is what you can use. You don't have to pay an additional cost. You don't have to add another subscription to your bill. All here in Microsoft 365. Some interesting things I need for you to pay attention to here, because everything I've said before maybe sounded familiar, right? But this is one very important feature that Microsoft has added into the cloud. We now have a OneDrive personal vault. You know, you're probably thinking, isn't OneDrive secured? Yes, it is, right? But of course, if you already log into your device, let's say you logged into your computer, you also have access to the OneDrive, right? So you leave, you walk away from your PC, you don't lock your PC, that person comes in after, can access your OneDrive. What we wanted to do is create an additional security for you for your personal documents. And I'm not talking about little nudie pictures, right? Nobody put that in your mind. I'm talking about the scanned version of your passport, your taxes inside of there, or even your birth certificate. Sometimes you go to fill out a form, simple as it is, and they ask you something like, what's your birth certificate PIN? Really though? Do I walk around with that in my memory? But you can now, you can have it in this personal vault. What it does is it asks you to then re-enter your credentials. So you know the Microsoft two-factor authentication, right? So you can use your biometrics, your fingerprint, your facial scan, Microsoft Hello to access it. But it allows you to have all of these critical documents, a scanned version of it all the time. And in case you didn't know, OneDrive actually scans your documents. You don't need to have a scanner for that. There is a feature in it that allows you to scan all of your documents from your phone onto the personal vault. This is a good selling point, because if you explain it well and you help people to understand this is a value, because they've been in situations where you're filling out a form and they ask you for something like your passport number. Who remembers their passport number? I remember my driver's permit number. I probably remember my ID card number because I'm from Trinidad. It's really easy. I just have to remember the last 3 digits. And because I lie about my age so much, I have to remember which year I was born. But who's going to remember the passport number? Who's going to remember the PIN on their birth certificate? You don't need to remember. You need to know it's safe on this vault. Great feature. The other great feature we have is safety, the protection for your families online. So we do have the download, purchase approval, some of the features that you want for your children, you know, driver reporting, content filtering, etc. A lot of these are in previews. We get them later in October, and I'm sure I'm going to have another opportunity to speak with you more in detail on that. But you know what? I don't want to be the one that to be the expert sauce for you, right? Because I'm going to help you become your own expert sauce. I'm going to touch on this a little bit. I know we did this recently with some of you, which is collaboration on Teams. This is something that was overlooked. There's several other apps that came out and became quite popular over the lockdown, where people talk about using, and I'm not going to name it, but you know them, to video conference, to connect to meetings, etc. But if you have 365, you already have this built into your subscription. And as a standalone, Microsoft actually made it free for 6 months. I think it ends in August, so people can still try it, right? The benefits is that you can create groups with your friends, your family. People have been doing family prayer via Teams, or they've been doing, obviously, work meetings. We had whole Teams parties. I was just telling Adita and Melissa that every other Friday in Microsoft, we had what we call was like our office hours. Basically, we blocked out 2 hours. Anybody could join in that time and just share. We had cooking going on Teams, people sharing their cooking, their recipes. Someone even played the violin. But it's an opportunity to really connect on a personal level. But it's very productive for work because you're able to schedule follow-ups. You're able to share documents. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that on the other side. This is a slide I have presented before. It's not very new, but I think it's essential that we talk about it because we are in a culture where a lot of the times people feel hurt or left out for simple things. Oh, they forgot to add me to the email thread, right? How do you want me to work on it now? Tell your customers, you don't have to worry about trying to remember all the 15 names that have to be working on this particular project. Just create a team in Teams, right? So that you have more inclusive conversations with the people that you're working with on this particular project. They can all engage as a team. They can meet from remote locations, and they can come together to share their ideas on this particular project you're working on. It allows them to share the pertinent information. It even allows them to assign tasks. It's like a mini project management as well, right? Collaborate on documents. Each one of them can be editing at the document at the same time. And of course, that means that you don't have to worry, wait now. So Jane sent this document at 11:50 last night, but I saw Peter's own was at 5 o'clock. So which one is the most recent one? You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry if Jane sent it at 11:10 and Peter sent it at 11:11, which one was the latest, because the latest will always be available on Teams, right? You can go through this. You can even secure like you can develop, your customers actually can develop their, because I know you may already be using this, right? These small businesses that we have here, resellers that probably already using this themselves. But you can help your customers to develop their own sales process, right? What they're going to use it for, if they're going to use it for sales or accounting or whatever it is, and they assign their tasks right there in Teams. It's excellent for development process, but it's also excellent to work together, collaborate together, include people, and share ideas. Let me help you become your own expert. You don't need me anymore, right? I like speaking with you. I actually hope Adita will open up the floor for a few questions, or maybe not questions. Maybe you could share some tips with me because you've already been using this. But I want you to have your own access to your information whenever you have time. So you don't have to schedule it in the middle of the day, 10:30 on a Thursday when you have a holiday tomorrow, to listen to Nisha ramble on for, I don't know, 45 minutes. Get started with Expert Zone. It's absolutely free. Here's how you do it. It's simple. We're going to click through. We're going to click through. It's really easy. You can even access it on your mobile phone. You click on the link that we're going to send you. Adita is going to send everybody in this call the link. Comes up next. There you go. You can even just scan that barcode. Simple. You click on it. It says log in with your Microsoft account. So you must have a Hotmail account, which is pretty easy. Sure you do. You log in. And you let us know a little bit about yourself, right? So there you go. You're Jane Doe or John Doe at hotmail.com. Click in, sign in. Tell us, you have to accept this. I think it's something a lot of us don't know. You have to accept the Adobe Captivate site permissions because it won't work otherwise, but it's fine. You're safe. Move along. And then tell us about yourself. Tell us why you want to do this, right? What do you want to learn about? Are you into PC sales? Are you a reseller for where are you? Where is your local? What's your language? Are you English, Dutch? What are you? French? Let's know. Give us your name so we could call you by your name, right? Are you just doing business solutions? Are you into gaming? I mean, we don't really promote gaming so much in the Caribbean, but there's a huge market for that. Tell us what you're looking for so we know how to tailor your expert zone so you get the right lessons. Just accept the terms and conditions and you're ready to start. You just live in your expert life. You become now the expert. So the next webinar that Aditya is going to schedule, you guys are going to present to me. I think that would be amazing. I think it'd be really fun. I'll sit here, I'll take notes, and I'll even come up with some really critical questions to ask you after.
Okay, we don't really want to scare you all off, right?
It's actually a very good opportunity to learn more about the products and the services that you offer. It's an opportunity for you to even get new skills, to level up, to tell your own stories. It's very interactive, and there is even certification in here. So I think you should take advantage of it. I actually started my own expert zone, and because of work, I haven't really followed through. But I promise you, before the next webinar, I'll do some courses so that I can share with you. It's fun and exciting. And I think, like I said at the beginning of this webinar, we need to enjoy what we do. And I look forward to hearing your experience next time around. Let's learn now how you can get all of your digital products without having to leave your store. From Adito. Did Adito get stuck? Melissa, can you help us out here?
I think she's trying to share her screen or camera or something.
Okay, sure.
So
Understood.
This is a way, sorry team.
Adita, we're not seeing anything if you're sharing, no?
No, I'm not sharing anymore. It's okay. This is a way for you all to actually include your team to be trained. So like when you yourself don't have time to train your team, this portal can train your team for you because they will be able to do it like in a very expert way, one for a better word in this regard. But you all, and plus your team could actually be benefited if they would like to even try 6 months. Once they reach the level, they'll be able to try 6 months free of a Microsoft 365 unit. So this is a plus and something to incentivize them to actually do. And this is a way as well for you to be able to manage what they have learned and what they haven't learned in terms of training for each team or your salespeople. Yeah?
Yeah, I think we can ask, Fernando is actually an expert on expert zone. So if we have maybe not as long as an hour-long webinar, but maybe a 20-minute in next month after we've all closed off this financial year, we can do a 20-minute demo with Fernando. If you're open to that, you could just let Adita know so we could start arranging something really quickly, but it's not going to be that long. But Adita's right, because a lot of the time we take the training as the owner, as the business owners, we just as you are going to reach out to your customers and they're the business owners and they have the information, but the staff that's working, who's on the ground, who's meeting with the customers, they don't have all of they're not the expert source basically. And then we don't have time to close doors and to schedule training for everybody at the same time. But if you give them access, they can learn at their own speed in their own time and become the experts. We can even we can even look at probably doing some incentives for persons who become experts so that your staff has some incentives. We can help you with some planning for that. Not so sure about the financing, but definitely the planning to get your staff up to speed. Anita, you're going to share a little bit about ESD?
Yes, we'll be sharing a little bit of ESD now in terms of.
Is there anybody on this call? Can you just let us know if you've not been using ESD to purchase your software?
Also, while we wait for Adita, if anybody have any questions or anything in the meantime.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Okay, this is Daniel over here. I'm trying to gain information about the educational Microsoft Office side, the A3 program or the A5 program or the A1 program.
Sure.
Daniel, I will send you some information on it. What exactly you need? This is Melissa, by the way.
Well, now the schools, they want to step over on wireless education. Office 365 is the platform, and I know this part of it is for faculty, a part of it is for students. What are the students getting? The information that I'm getting is just very simple, basic. I'm not sure if there's also teams involved if you get to the new package.
Daniel, to be honest, the connection was kind of bad. I heard something about a platform.
Yeah, so let me just explain something for everyone. Melissa and Danny will have to take that one offline because I understand he wants to get some more information about the education. So one of the things that we fail to mention in any of these webinars is that Microsoft has 3 pillars, basically. It's a huge organization. So you will be purchasing from the OCP side, which is your CSP or your cloud solutions, your Azure, etc. From Melissa's is also your point person in MC3 for that. But then we also have education. I'm afraid I'm still here with just ESD. So my information is limited on those things. And that's why Melissa suggested that she will help out because she's actually the expert across the board. So Daniel, I would suggest that you send Melissa a little note so that she can follow up with you because we don't want you to disappoint your education partners. We want to help empower you to also satisfy their needs.
Daniel, I'll connect with you after the call, and if you can just shoot me an email as to the question, or even put it in the chat, and I'll respond to you accordingly.
And so we have contact with each other, so we'll call you after the meeting.
Sounds good. I understood that.
Okay, Adita.
So, guys, for those of you who have access to the ESD platform already, you know our portal, you are familiar. But for those of you who hasn't access, please reach out to us. It's simple. Just reach out to either myself, Melissa, or Kayla, depending on which territory you belong to today. And we'll give you access to this because we'll need to give you some credentials in order to sign into our portal, right? So some of you who didn't think that ESD is beneficial to you because you don't really own a retail store, we have plenty of opportunities. There are great opportunities for your SMBs who probably are not your core commercial customers, but they need stuff too. So don't just leave them to go to another reseller. You are there, you have access to each one of our portals, so please feel free to sell these products to them as well. We mentioned the home and business product. This is one of the cheapest perpetual products that is available. We also have the office professional on ESD as well. And we have Visio and Project, which is very important for, I'm sure, many of your customers as well. On our ESD portal, just to mention, we have other brands like Norton, McAfee, and we actually plan on getting some new ones. So yeah, so don't think of MC3 as just selling you Microsoft every day. It is an ESD webinar based on our Microsoft, but these other products helps our customers to bundle. For example, if you need to bundle with your PC, we have the office, we have the security, we have the antivirus, everything under one portal, so you could easily place your bundles or put together your bundles so that you could, especially for the upcoming period of probably back to school, this will be a very good thing to do. I just wanted to enlighten you all, just in case that you all needed to explain to your customers how they would have to go about activating the license. So after end user receives the key, it's a simple, and this is something that we will share with you after. So it's a simple click through. After end user receives the key, they use the Microsoft account to log in, and it's just simple steps. It's a simple step with a click through where you would give them the end user activation key, and they put the country in, they put the language in, and it's simple as that. So even when your customers come to you and say, well, they don't know what to do, this is as simple, and this is something that they even pay you to do an additional price to install. So feel free to let us know if we can help you in any other way, but it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. This is actually the end of our webinar, and we really thank you all for coming, and we have prizes for you all. So I would like to ask, you all could put in your answers in the chat box, and you all can answer me for the first prize. If you all can name 3 Microsoft commercial SKUs offered on ESD. So let's see, who wants to win? We need 3, we need 3.
Richard, I'll respond to you just now. Let's just see the winner for this question.
Commercial SKUs, right? This is why I remind them. I said it with commercial SKUs. So let's see who paid attention.
Starting to feel offended now. I mentioned all 3. I may have drilled down into 2 of them.
I know you all probably go into our portal, but Andre,
Andre.
you have been paying attention.
Yeah.
That's good though, because he always try.
Yay, Andre.
I'm happy for him.
Great. So we move on. So Andre, you will receive your prize of an Amazon gift card after the meeting. Look out for it in your email.
Congratulations, Andre.
Everything digital.
Yes, everything will be digital. So we on to our next prize. Because we're on MC3 ESD portal, you could help me by naming 3 brands offered on our portal. For prize number 2. Three brands. Perfect, Allison, congratulations. You'll receive your prize after this call as well. It's actually one of our antivirus from Norton.
Congratulations.
Congrats, Elysian.
And then we have one more. One more prize for an internet security. Where can you go to further obtain training? And if you can name the site.
Come on, Adrian, try with this one. You're telling everyone congrats.
Adita, while they're selecting, can you just project the screen again with the presentation, please?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Adrian,
first
you
presentation.
should know the answer. Anybody?
Oh, come on.
Reginald almost said. Alexandra actually
Adita, just
said it.
yes, thank
She
you.
sent the link actually.
Go back a bit, please. So one of the previous slides, thanks. Thank you.
This one?
Yeah, probably one with Microsoft. One of the, sorry, with the SKUs. My apologies.
Okay.
Is there any questions about the presentation itself? Did you understand everything? Did it make sense? Did it motivate you to just run out and start selling?
Okay, wait. Nisha, before I continue, we need to get the winner for.
Oh, we
Detailed
didn't?
state question. No. Well, yeah.
Gosh,
well,
and we just literally.
Alexandra, you're a little due to decide if she gets. She basically posted the link, but
Okay.
there's just like a little typo.
That's okay. I
Right.
think it's.
That's
I
okay,
think it can
that's
work
You
though.
can get it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Alexandra,
It's
go on. And
perfect,
Dito
it's
will
perfect.
let you know what you want. So that's
So
a good,
you,
good job,
Alexandra,
Alexandra.
you will
One more
receive
slide.
not internet security after this call. Yeah.
Yay!
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Can you scroll back again, please? Thanks.
So we had 3 different winners from 3 different countries.
That's
Oh, that's
amazing.
Because I
Good.
think Andre is from Jamaica, Alexandra is from
Right, that's
Aruba,
good.
and Alicia is from Trinidad. So congrats, everyone.
This
But,
is really fun though for somebody who's been uh,
I know, Andre, you've been trying to win a while now for every webinar.
Nisha, is this the slide you wanted to go back
Yeah,
to?
no, I just wanted to just go back because I have like all of these wonderful participants here. Oh, Kayla is actually on. That's amazing.
Yes, Adrian, I'm sure next event you'll win.
Is there anything anybody that needed cleared up before we leave? Because we're giving we took 5 minutes of your time and we're taking it back actually. Yeah, we good? Are there any questions in the chat, Melissa? No?
No, I think it's all. I already responded to Richard on the side, so I think that's it.
Okay. You guys were great. Thanks so much. I
All
hope I
right.
did a good job today.
Thank you, Nisha. Thank you, Adita.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Okay,
Take care.
bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Bye, Kayla.
I actually, I was responding to somebody in my office and the mic was off. Thank you, guys. Nisha, it was an excellent presentation.
This is your girl from MC3 in Jamaica, Kayla.
Bye. And bye, everyone. Thank you
Bye,
guys for
everyone.
joining. Bye-bye.